What's going on, everyone? This is Robert E. Woods III, and today we are joined by an incredibly special guest, one of my good friends, Andree Druses. Today, he's going to talk a little bit about his sales philosophy, his story, and what makes him a top tier performer in everything he does. So I'm really excited to do this because, we have a lot of background conversations about his life, his journey. And then we had one conversation. It was like, this should be recorded. and
Definitely.
so so now we are making it happen. I feel like this is probably one of many, to be honest. So
Yeah.
Andree, could you tell everyone a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yeah. First of all, Robert, thank you for having me, man. Huge fan of yours
Yes.
and the value that you bring out, man. So, appreciate and humble to be here, man. Yeah, my name is Andree. I'm in sales. We work together, at a very purposeful company where we, help underrepresented groups and in companies who care about these groups, put them into a more equitable hiring process and just make them, obviously feel like, they belong in the environment that they're in. I've been in this software sales space for about 6 years now, and in a leadership role for about the last three, which is awesome. Been able to see a lot of progress in terms of my career, and just being here and using my expertise at a startup, at a place where, we need people who can kind of just hop into their role and be a boss in their role. It's been great being here, and putting in some good work. Outside of my career, my 9 to 5, it is possible to be an entrepreneur and still have that stability of a 9 to 5. But outside of that, been very blessed to be able to, start up my own trucking and transportation company with one of my real close friends. I also work in the dog breeding space, and I also have my own credit repair company. So I have to juggle a lot of hats. Try my best to do it efficiently. But yes, really blessed to even be able to say that I can do all these things.
Yeah. So, we're going to get into this a little bit. So the fact that you run so many businesses, including an incredibly successful business that you're an employee of, including,
Hmm.
three businesses that you started on your own. Could you
Hmm.
talk a little bit about maybe time management and
Yeah.
then the way that you really set yourself up for success each and every day?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I think when it comes to time management, what my greatest asset is that I'm a very structured person. I have to be structured in terms of my own mental health, and that's very key because I feel like a lot of people they just feel like with success you have to constantly be working, and I'm more of be efficient with myself and my time. And that really just means that being able to accomplish the most using the less resources. So what I do is I have literally boards everywhere that constantly keeps me accountable to my goals, but not also to my goals, but to the things that I have to do. So I structure out my time so that at this particular point, I wake up early. I make sure I take some time for myself, obviously, some mental time, some physical time by working out. And then from there, what I can do before I start with my obligations of my career, I get that done. Okay. And then from there, obviously, I, focus my time, on my obligations for my career, the company that's, paying me to, give my expertise and give my all. And then, in between that, I think that the good thing about the environment that we're in now, this work from home environment, is that we're kind of able to, build our own schedule and, kind of do things in between. So when I do have the time to, do things in between my obligations, I use that also as well to take care of things like my dogs, to, make sure that, my driver, who's also an owner of this business, he's on time for the routes, and, we get paid on time, or, set up payroll real quick. And the for my credit repair business, it's very embryonic. We're just getting into it. um, and I think that sometimes we don't value enough the contributions a team could really put into something. And I knew for this that I need to have a team in order for me to do this the right way, because I don't want to just say, create a business just to make money. Like, it's to help people. And if I am so consumed with everything else that I'm doing, then how can I efficiently help someone, especially something as big as helping them fix their credit? So I definitely utilize my team a lot to be efficient with that side of my business in order for me to be successful with it.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, you mentioned the team. I think a
Hmm.
lot of times when people talk about their ideal life, um, they come to the realization that they may have to do it all on their own or by themselves. And it seems like your philosophy, your paradigm is not necessarily let me do it on my own. Let me
Yeah.
leverage my time in a certain way to find these pockets of time where I can still be successful, accomplish my goals and dreams. Could you talk about your paradigm for just having a team and having the support around you to be successful?
Yeah. Well, Robert, the thing about it is that I'm the type of person where I learn from my mistakes. And I've always been the type of person where I'm like, no one can do what I want better than I can. You know what I'm saying? And that was, I'm sure you probably feel that. And that
Yeah.
was kind of detrimental to me in certain aspects of my life, because I was always just trying to take the world and put it on my back, put it on my shoulders, and things that I could kind of outsource to others to do, who probably could do it better than me. My ego was so big. And I also felt like my dreams depended on what I was doing, what I can physically pick up and move. And I had to really humble myself, because I was seeing that I was doing so much movement, but I wasn't going anywhere, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so, when it came time to, and honestly, I've been very blessed for these businesses, because these are businesses that I started within the pandemic. So, huge blessing for that. But what I really did was look around and see kind of what crumbled and what was still rising, what was still going, and that's where I invested my time and my energy in. So even things like taking care of my dogs. I have my brother come and help me out. I have my significant other come and help me out. We do this together. When it comes to starting the credit repair business, I want to be very purposeful for that, because personally, the lack of good credit, what I'm saying, has affected me. And when I was on my own credit repair journey, I just learned a couple things, and I also learned what I was being inhibited from without having good credit. So it's not only just about helping people fix credit and getting a payment for it. It's also about actually um, educating, um, low income maybe communities, or just communities who don't know too much about how much credit could affect your life. I know, Robert, it wasn't taught to us as kids. So I was humble enough to go to my brother, to go to my best friend. Thank God, he saw my vision and saw what I wanted to do with the credit repair business, and not just go out there and fix credit, but to actually go out and teach younger kids, and teach underrepresented groups, and teach low income communities about the proper utilization of credit, how to build credit, why it's important. So that shift just came from just doing everything by myself, and noticed that I was kind of moving in a perpetual circle. But when I realized that I actually could just work with a team, I started seeing more progression in the things that I wanted to accomplish.
It's amazing. So, when it comes to the long-term vision that you have for yourself, I know that you have a plan that's like mapped out on a whiteboard somewhere in your
Yeah, right
apartment.
behind me.
Exactly. Could you share a few details about that a little bit?
Yeah. So when it comes to well, I'll start with my trucking business. Something that we started during the pandemic. I say we, it's me and my best friend Ryan. Shout out to him if he's looking at this and watching this. Love you, man. Um, when it comes to that, the goal is to grow first, grow revenue, and then scale. My philosophy is always intensity first, and then extensity. So being intense on one thing. So right now we have one truck. We're intense about just really optimizing and being efficient with that one truck, and building revenue with that one truck. And we're actually getting to the point now. We've been in business for a year now. Actually, my year anniversary for that business was last week, so that was really cool.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And so now we're getting to the point where we're looking to extend and expand and scale, and get more trucks. And a big, I would say, like a big motivation for that too is that, I know with my best friend Ryan, that he has some family who's in the in the formerly incarcerated community, and it's something that I've always been interested to, as a very empathetic person, tries to understand different groups. And we really, really want to start a program, and we're working and trying to map out how to do it, where we hire formerly incarcerated persons, and put them onto the truck and give them away so that they can make really good money, because truck drivers, they make really good money. So, and then I know it's hard once you come out the system and you're trying to just assimilate yourself back into society, and everyone has that asterisk on you. It's like walking around with that proverbial like A on your chest or something like that. And we really just want to kind of give back to that community, and you go to the system to correct yourself if you've done it wrong, and when you come back, you should have the opportunity that everyone else has. So that's something that we're looking to map out in the long term. Super excited about that part. When it comes to my career, I love sales. I think everything is sales. Sales is really just relationship building. And my goal is to, as someone who is a black man, as someone who is in corporate America, this system isn't built for us. But we're skillful, and we don't get easily put down. What I'm saying, we work hard. And I really would love to just kind of my expertise and just everything that I've been in. I would love to bring that to the next generation of young youths who want to come into corporate America. There's no problem with that. I feel like nowadays there's a lot of hate on working a 9 to 5 job, and building up
Mhm.
your individual skill sets and utilizing it, to build up a company. And almost everything that I've learned about building companies have been from being within companies. Um, so I'm hoping to just kind of stay in that leadership space. Maybe one day become a motivational speaker, or a sales leader speaker, and just speak on the best practices of how to bring companies or people into a active sales cycle, how to even build one out. And I think because that can also translate into your own business too as well. So that would be my goal for my career. And then when it comes to my dog breeding business, I think that there's a negative light when it comes to breeding. I feel like it is a market
Mhm.
that will always be there. But my goal with my dogs, so I breed specifically Frenchies. Frenchies have very short mouths, very short nose and snouts. What I've been trying to find out is how I can breed them so that I can kind of help with that genetic trait and kind of bring out that mouth. So I'm part of a group of breeders that we actually get specific type of dogs and genes. And what we really try to do is really help that whole species of dog, and help them survive longer. I live in Miami, where it's constantly 95 degrees. Can't even walk your dog outside for too long without them wanting to hyperventilate. So that's something important to me, as a person who loves animals too. I also do have a part of my business to where with our dogs, we can't keep them all. So what I do is I work with those who are suffering from any type of mental or emotional trauma. And we try to place emotional support animals, our dogs as emotional support animals, with them. So that's very purposeful for me, as someone who has struggled with mental health issues too as well. And I detailed my credit repair business and my goals for that too as well. So there's always a purpose. I try to live a very purposeful life. It's not just about making money; it's about bringing value and also bringing purpose within yourself too as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. someone can look on your situation and say, man, he's doing a lot. Um,
Yeah.
how does it feel to be where you are, and do you ever feel satisfied?
Yeah. That's a trick question there. It feels good to be where I'm at, Robert, because I was in a position in my life where I had it all. I at a very young age, I was able to see a lot of success through my work ethic. Um, and through just some bad decisions and not being aware of myself, and really putting others before myself. Um, I Everything kind of crumbled down without me, being able to really pick up the pieces. So it's literally from coming on top of a mountain to really just like falling and sliding down avalanche style, and having to
Mm,
really recreate myself and pick myself up and putting myself together. So I feel like that is you know there's always like that you're not a hustler until you've able to lose it all and get it back. And that I wouldn't say you're not a hustler, but that is so true that you really don't know who you are or what you can accomplish until you have absolutely nothing, until you don't even know what you're going to eat, you know what I'm saying, the next day, and I've really had to humble myself these last couple years. I've always been super ambitious, but I've always been very just like, I gotta go, I gotta go, I gotta go, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. So it didn't always just start with me, doing everything. I focused on just my career first, even though I had all these ambitions, because I was picking myself up, and I knew that if I overextended myself, so that concept of intensity over extensity, I knew if I overextended myself, I was just setting myself up to fail again. So I just focused on one thing, and I focused on being the best at what I was doing, and I focused on bringing the most value and learning everything I could about it. And then when I felt like, okay, I'm at a position to where I can, focus on other things that bring me happiness, and that can contribute to my future goals. That's when I started to, look into, it'd be awesome, having my own truck. I have a friend who is in that industry, and I have an inn. I love animals. It'd be awesome to just kind of, help a whole breed of animals, and also as well, be able to kind of have my own type of Frenchie, and my own kennel, and help others too as well. So it didn't always start off as just kind of doing everything at once, and I feel like that's the misconception of like entrepreneurship, of trying to get everything that you want, is that you have to work on 10 things at the same time. That thing of structure is so important, because again, efficiency is achieving the most with less resources. That's literally the definition of efficiency. And it's so important to do that, because I think that with this social media, um, like generation that we're in, that we only see what people want us to see. And so we only see people grinding, or people with money, or this or that, but we never
mhm.
see when they're just relaxing, or when they're meditating, or when, what I'm saying, when they're planning, when they're reading, and I just want to kind of break that stigma that, people look at me like, oh man, you do all this thing, how do you do it? Well, I just manage my time correctly, and I manage myself correctly. That's all I do. I don't do anything different. You know what I'm saying? I like to relax. I like to take some time and smell the roses. I like to, go on vacations too. But I know when it's time to work, it's time to work, and when it's time to relax, and kind of take my time off, it's time to do that too, because that's also a part of being successful.
Exactly. Well, I totally agree with you, Andre. And I feel like we might have to dig in a little bit deeper on another session when it comes to,
Yeah,
um, you know, actually executing, the things that you're doing. But it has
definitely.
definitely been an honor to speak with you today about your philosophy, your paradigm, because I really think that's really what it's about, the thought process and the exposure to someone who has grown so much in their life and is literally crushing it and does it on a consistent basis with everything they do. So I love that. Would you
Thank you,
be able to
brother.
tell? Oh, of course. Would you be able to tell us how people can find you after today?
Yeah, yeah. If you looked on my LinkedIn, my name Andree, two E's, Druses, Druses. You can find me there. Feel free to connect with me. Always willing to give advice when it comes to business, when it comes to sales. Sales and business are hand in hand. You can also find me on Instagram. Instagram is DROOOSAYS_. So you can find me there. Feel free to shoot your boy a follow. You can like some of the pictures and things like that, and I will definitely return the favor. But yeah, those are my two social medias. And again, Robert, thank you so much for having me. We're looking forward to being on any other episodes that you have next, man. My time is available.
It's awesome, Andre. Thank you. Thanks again for your
Thank you, man.
time. And yeah, thanks a lot, man. I hope you have a good rest of your day.
You too, buddy.
All right.